I only can talk from a male perspective and some of the clients I have, and I'm not a woman, so I speak as a man. But I think one of them is it's the same as some men, but also it's different by its identity and the roles they play.
Okay.
Oftentimes you see women, not saying all, and I hate this term, this is just me, how I am, especially with clients, I've got to be a strong black woman. But you never hear any demographics saying that. I've got to be a strong white woman, I've got to be a strong Indian woman.
Part of culture, but we ain't part of culture. Still making it rain, but I let the words fly in so burn. Them man there, some them man there, we say we don't know them. Always chatting about Lengo, roll with the stick, man, have to outgrow them. You see this life, only get one, don't get twice. Got value with treated right, find purpose, meaning, fight. That's destiny calling. Ring, 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 ring.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome back to season 1.
Season 1.
Episode 4.
Episode 4.
From faith to finding love.
Come on.
I go by the name of Christian Adam, aka The Bachelor, aka London Kings, in the building. And my co-host in the building with me today.
The voice, Mickey. What you saying, people? God bless you. Mr. Adam. What you saying, my guy?
Oh, we here. Bro, I'm excited to be back here with you again.
Yeah.
Who's our special guest in the building today?
We've got Mr. Leon Berry. Welcome,
Leon
sir.
Berry in the building. Come on.
The episode today is mental health issues amongst our women. So, Mr. Berry, why are women mad?
Why are women mad?
Okay, let me take that back.
We're gonna start with an introduction. Let me just introduce the man himself. And what
Please
he's
tell us a
about.
little bit about yourself, sir.
Absolutely.
Well, what can I say? My name is Leon. I've been from a safe place to talk. Been a psychotherapist for a number of years now, and started this journey from, what can I say, I did coaching, I did for young children, then I did mentoring young children as well as adults, as well as other things I've worked in the community, but I came from a corporate work before this, so I worked and did shift work before, so I was doing 12, 14 hours a day in my shift work.
Okay.
Long days, really long days. Decided to start again. Said, you know what, this world, what I'm working is quite fickle. And it didn't mean much to a certain point, per se, so it wasn't like flying a plane like a pilot and lives dependent on me to do my job. People just made a lot of money in my job.
Right.
As much as I'm making money, I just thought, okay, a lot of pressure to make money. If I made a mistake, you'll see it at home, and you'll know at home. If I made a mistake in my job that I think let's say 10 seconds or 5 seconds, I could have lost maybe, I don't know, 300,000 in that 5 seconds. So there's always a lot of pressure to work and time constraints.
Yes.
I said, okay, I'll start again. So I started again, retrained as a therapist, and more importantly, retrained as a therapist for people who look like me. Because I found that for myself searching for therapy at one stage, there was nobody that looked like me, especially as a man. Especially as a man. So who can relate to me, who can talk to me, who can able to connect with me, and I found that for myself that, okay, be the change that you want to be.
Absolutely. Powerful.
More importantly, be the change that you want to see. So I thought, okay, let me be that.
Powerful. Leo, can I ask a question? You mentioned at the beginning about something being, what you're doing being meaningful. How important is the work you do and the meaning behind it in terms of what you do? How do you attach meaning?
Meaning to my work?
Yeah.
Well, I think one of the things that got me, and I never will forget, is when I was on a lunch break in my job. It's near South Bank and crossing Waterloo Bridge.
Yes.
And just literally walking across the road, we had like an hour and a half, 2 hour lunch break. I was on a 13-hour shift day that day. So I was walking across the bridge just to go for a walk in general. So when I was walking across, a guy tried to jump off Waterloo Bridge.
Jeez.
Okay. This
Great.
is not what I said. Oh, I was talking to him, I said, okay, John, I'll call you back. And then I was saying, it's weird. And then I said, whatever you're about to do, mate, whatever reason it is, it's not worth it. I can guarantee you that. No, please leave me alone. I said, okay, let's have a talk then. So he spoke and talked for a bit. Let me to cut the story short and condense it that we spoke for a bit, and then I said, I'm going to hold on to you, mate. So I just held on to him. And then when people were walking past, I was holding on to him. So he was on the other side of the bridge, I was on the pedestrian side. I said, so please call ambulance, anybody. So then people are looking at me like I'm about to push him.
Oh, wow.
Like I'm the perpetrator.
The settings look crazy.
It was wrong. So then I was saying that there was a Indian man that stopped, and then he he saw the situation. He said, "Okay, call somebody straight away." Other people looked at me and just ran away, and that was a disheartening thing. So, what does the victim look like? What does the perpetrator look like? So that
Stereotype.
So
Immediately.
I said the words. So then police came, and then and how they treated him was so hostile. So this man's about to end his life, and they literally grabbed him in almost like a headlock, threw him on his face, handcuffed him, and threw him in a van. Basically, it seemed like they were wasting police time. So I think from that point there, I thought, well, okay, I actually did something quite meaningful. And I think kind of from there, it set a seed in my heart, like, okay, can I do a job that means more than just making money for somebody else?
Right.
Quick question. You said the importance of seeing someone with your face. Talk on that a little bit. Like, how did you... So you've been looking at this point in time for therapy and you did not see this out?
No, I think for me, it is I would say more of a stage when I was really younger. So let's say when I was really young, about between 7 and 11, I couldn't speak at all, hardly. So I speak like that. And I struggled to speak and I had no confidence. And I was really, really overweight, so I must have been about, my highest weight was about 14, 15, I must have been about 20 stones. Really, really obese, overweight. And I used to come to eat a lot. I used to stay at home, just play computers and didn't go out, didn't really like socialise. Much as I tried to be confident, it's like, it's easy to stay at home and have kebab and chips and patty and chips, and whatever it was chips. Chips and chips. And everything, chips, salad and chips, everything was, so then had that and had a Diet Coke.
Come on.
Healthy
beverage.
I am being good now, I have a Diet Coke and whatever, so, and I think from then it was like, you didn't learn how to articulate what was going inside of you. So you had, everybody have different issues, but I didn't know how to articulate my own struggles. And I didn't know how to look. And that's the thing, I didn't know the tools and how to look, but I knew I lived in an environment or grew up in a place where it's very easy to be a certain way and do a certain thing. And that was the easy part. And fortunately I had two older brothers that beat the life out of me if I ever tried to go down those ways.
Wow, okay.
Absolutely. Then I tried to. And I hated how they treated me. But now I'm so grateful for it.
Yes.
Because I would have been the worst.
Yes. Powerful. Powerful. Cool. Nikki, that's a big introduction. Man.
That's a big
That's
intro.
a big,
I wasn't ready for that.
I wasn't ready for that.
It was meaty.
But we into it, it was meaty.
Yes, sir.
Introduction was fire.
It was deep.
We ready to go. Okay, cool. So we're talking about mental health issues and our sisters, black women in the building. So, a few questions. First question on the line. Are we ready? Okay. What do we think are some of the mental health challenges faced by black women, and how do these challenges differ from other demographics?
Wow.
From your perspective and the work that you've done?
By black women, it's very broad.
It's a broad question.
But I only can talk from a male perspective and some of the clients I have, and I'm not a woman, so I speak as a man. But I think one of them it's the same as some men, but also it's different, but it's identity and the roles they play.
Okay.
Oftentimes you see women, not saying all, and I hate this term, this is just me, how I am, especially with clients, I've got to be a strong black woman. But you never hear any demographics saying that. I've got to be a strong white woman, I've got to be a strong Indian woman.
Right.
I've got to be a strong Spanish woman. But why do we adopt all the women? Some adopt, I've got to be a strong black woman. It's like it's a crown to wear as to be, rather than be a woman, now I'm a strong black woman, okay.
Right.
Be you.
Right.
And it's not even to knock against any women per se, but I feel it's almost like it coincides with also being a strong single black woman. There's a narrative push that I don't need, and sometimes that's anti-productive. And the pressure they put on themselves, expectations of how I should be, how I should perform, what clothes I should wear, clothes I should look like, and how I should be in different roles.
Right.
That's the feeling. It's like where they fit in society, and oftentimes when they do feel comfortable to fit in society, other black women spurn them.
Oh, say more.
I find other black women attack them for them being individual.
Okay.
So there's what I'm seeing is a simulation of sameness of women out there.
Okay, so I mean, just to bring it back. So what I'm hearing is, are you saying that you don't necessarily see a distinction between the mental health challenges that Black women go through versus just women in general, or are we saying that there are some very specific issues, whether it's cultural or societal, that Black women face that impacts their mental health?
It's intersectionality.
Okay.
It's one thing affects another. I think, for example, for sometimes when Black women have certain mental health challenges, it's not seen and picked up by the health system. It's not seen because it's almost like, oh, she's normally been like that. She's pushed through her limits. So what she goes through as trauma is what she's been normal for her is trauma for somebody else.
Okay.
Because they normalise what they go through, push life to the microaggressions,
the
micro attacks that she's suffered at work, what she's suffered at home, how she should be, how she should act. So that maybe, let's say she's struggling with anxiety or ADHD or certain, and she's maybe just kind of, it shows up in like, oh, haziness and just looking in the air. But it's not picked up straight away, especially for young girls in school.
Right,
So what is picked up for other people in other professions. So if a man throws himself out there and says, I'm just angry and all that, that's accepted.
Right.
But if a woman does it, oh my gosh, there's a spurn in her. So sometimes it's hard for a woman just to let be.
Wow.
So sometimes she adapts herself in different environments to suit other people, to make them feel comfortable. And that in itself is a problem. Because now she's learning to contain herself.
Right.
And what you contain contaminates. Because you're holding the wrong things in.
Yes. This idea of adapting themselves to particular situations to fit. And I've got cousins that are 11, 12 years old. They're twins, and some of the challenges they face is they want to look like some of the other girls in their schools, right? So
who are the other girls in the school? At what age are they? So now they're
11, right? Yeah. For example, one of them struggles with skin complexion.
Right.
She thinks I'm too dark, or struggles with the way her hair looks, right? So,
but what do you call that? Do you call that a pressure, or no? Do you call that what? What else could that be? Is that peer pressure? That social conditioning?
I think it's a combination of potential social conditionning and peer pressure as well. But I'm not versed in this area, so I'm just trying to. Again, it ties to mental health issues that they face as well.
What would that turn into if it's not checked?
Oh, a lack of self-esteem.
Right.
Lack of self-esteem.
Yeah, so internal local evaluation. Therefore, they're not grounded center. So now, therefore, when they see everybody else, there's an inferior complex.
Absolutely.
Because now they see themselves as inferior. Then who's superior then?
Absolutely.
So now you start literally putting yourself down for somebody else's happiness. So you're setting yourself on fire to keep them warm.
Wow. As a father of a young Black princess, what can I do to
lock her up? No, I'm joking.
to have her feel comfortable in her own skin and to allow her to be herself?
You need to be you, and as a man, the first, I keep saying it, the first relationship they have is with you.
Yeah.
And whether you're with the mum or whether you're not with the mum, the first, how they navigate relationships is with you. How they ground themselves is with you. So whether you affirm it or not, excuse me, you learn to affirm her. So for my girls, what I sometimes do is give them flowers and chocolate on birthdays and Valentine's. So if the next person comes along, they're used to it. So some man will be like, here's some person, I'm pretty used to that treatment. Learn to esteem them in such a way that they're used to being seen themselves as a value in a certain way.
So they don't look for outside. They get it.
So the ground inside, it's a conversation that you have with yourself. And that's the most important one, is the one you have between your two ears.
Powerful.
That's the most important conversation you always will have. How you see yourself is critical, is how others will treat you.
Jeez. All right, let me ask this question because
let's get into it.
It's getting deep. What are the potential contributing factors to the high levels of anxiety and depression among Black women? And how can we as men support them? It's a big one.
I can't if I give an answer to that award. Contributing factors. There's finance, there's health, there's systemic racism, there's employment, there's sexism.
There's so much.
There is misogyny, there is social media, social conditioning. So anxiety is is for some women is just literally a fear, and because anxiety is facts. So, but what anxiety does is take the facts and distort them, enlarge them.
Yeah.
So, for
Facts,
example,
facts.
I don't have enough money. That's truth. But then anxiety comes when now you just only focus solely on the not money, and therefore it turns into depression. Now you can't leave your house when you've got no money.
Yes.
So now how do you get your way up? So your capacity to deal with the day-to-day thing just goes smaller and smaller and diminishes more and more. So whatever's facing for our black women, it's so linked so much. It's such a hard question to answer because it's so vast and varies from woman to woman. What could affect me could affect someone else differently. Whether that's the fact that she turns to the GP and that she's not seen, whether she's pushed in a certain way, which is devalued at home, whether she's forced people to always want something from her at different stages. So it's the roles sometimes I'm finding black women have to play.
Yeah.
And then as well as being that as well for everybody else, she's oftentimes doesn't find it for herself. So as hard as it is, but for us men, how to support them, I think we'll be honest. Learn ourselves, what's our role we want? What do we want from our black women?
Right.
And ask them, how can I support you? Have the question, because I don't think for men that we talk enough.
No, we don't.
There's expectation that we want from women, but I think I said it the other day when sometimes where I think it was at church where the conversation was, for single women, what do you want? So women, I want this in a man, I want this in a man, and so forth. Okay, brilliant. Now you become that list. Truth. And vice versa. What a woman wants, what the man wants, and woman, I want her to be thick and she could be smart, and so forth. Say, okay, now you become that list. You become that. I said the only thing I wanted from my wife was her. I didn't need her to come cook, clean, to iron clothes. I'm good with all that. The only thing I just didn't have is a woman. Her perspective, her strength, her annoying ways at times.
Yeah.
I couldn't do that.
Yeah. I think about focusing on fathers, because Mickey brought up, obviously Mickey's a father, and thinking about this issue of anxiety that, daughters might have, as fathers, and I'll use my cousins as an example, right? They have low self-esteem because of the way they look. And their father is not in their life. He's gone up and started a whole other family. I've tried to be present there, but as fathers, what are some of the things that we need to, well, not we, people, but we're fathers, need to start really zoning in on to be able to, it's almost to almost be able to preempt them even get into the anxiety stage. What are some of the key things that you would advise fathers to be present on?
But remember, sometimes anxiety could also be chemical imbalance.
Okay,
Literally. So the brain is like a car sometimes. And it may not just work for whatever reason, whether you've overstressed yourself, whether you bumped it, whether you had a trauma, whatever, and your brain may malfunction. So whether medication works, okay, great. It may be simply that. I'm not diminishing the actual medical field, but what I do find is sometimes it's very easy to over-medicate.
Okay.
It's very easy sometimes for a GP to, hey, well, have you tried this and have that? I was talking to a colleague on Wednesday, and she went through a rough, torrid time when she was younger. And she said, Leon, one of the things that I didn't like was the fact that no one wanted to do talking therapy. All they wanted to do is medicate me all the time, quite quick like that. It's very quick, and it's almost like that takes away the very notion of doing some work. And I just wanted to talk, listen, no, try this, and go away and come back. So for one of the fathers, it's to always affirm, especially girls, affirm.
I like that, affirmation.
But then ask yourself as a man, when somebody tells you, hey, you're doing good, or give you a certain, how do you feel? Right. So checking what you're feeling. So imagine you now being a young, impressionable girl in a world of transitions of looks and filters and so forth. Let them know that they are good enough. Always. And they may not even feel it. And I said to my daughter, say, you appreciate what we're doing now because you're good enough.
Yeah.
And understand, have the conversation with you now. Check in with yourself. Yeah, you talk about my feelings. Of course I do tell you that. Don't hold on to stuff. It's like you hold on to a hot potato. Hold it, darling. Now, if you hold those negative feelings, those thoughts about yourself, they will burn you.
That's great. That's dope. That's dope. And just staying on this concept of affirmation, let's now bring it from father to daughter dynamic to husband and wife dynamic. Black man married to a black woman. How does that apply across in terms of supporting our wives in that space? So they're dealing with anxiety throughout life. How?
But learn yourself though. Why is your wife dealing with anxiety? What's going on for you at the same time? How do you cope with anxiety? Do you shut yourself down? Do you let her deal with her own? Do you go watch TV, football, sports, PlayStation, go out with friends, whatever? What's going on? How secure does she feel?
Okay.
How secure? Why does she feel anxiety? Does she feel anxiety? Understand? Does she feel anxiety at home? Does she feel it at work? Does she feel it because of the children? Does she feel anxiety because she's feeling a situation where she may not be good enough? Is she projecting a thought process about herself widely to something else? Because there's a truth in why she's feeling anxiety and anxious, but the reason is why she's feeling anxious.
Yes.
How do we get to the root of that? It doesn't come from nowhere, it's rooted somewhere.
Yeah, that's a deep rooted.
So whether she can't talk to you, hey babes, maybe I can't support you. How can I support you? Let me know. Have a conversation. If she shuts you out, okay, maybe not now. Let me come back later on.
Yes.
But then you've got to be patient with the process. Oh, I did try. You can't, but we try to tap about it.
Is it about to come in on that one?
But on that though, how do you build an environment that she can be safe enough to talk
To actually talk
Do it together.
Yeah.
She needs to build it for me and I need to build it for her.
Just simply ask the questions. It's like you stop dating, it feels like, when people stop talking. So you've got to have a conversation. And the thing about it, you've got to be vulnerable enough to show your scars. That's the thing about it.
You're touching on some bits, Mr.
Current
Mary.
wounds don't heal well. Remember that if you cover a wound in a relationship from way in the past and it's there, and you cover it and you don't clean it, it turns septic.
Jeez.
So you've got to open. Oh, it's messy. Of course it's messy. Because the reason why you've got to open it, clean the wound out, and start again. Covered wounds don't heal well.
Wow.
It's powerful.
I need
Okay. See the man, I hope they're listening.
I hope they're listening.
We're dropping gems over here. We're dropping gems over here. All right, we're moving swiftly on. Okay, next one. And it ties a little bit into some things that we already talked about, right? So this is focusing on, are there specific cultural and societal pressures the black women face, right? So we're talking societal and especially on social media, right? So remember, we're living in the age of the Cardi B's and the Megan Thee Stallions and the Britney, whatever her name is, when I was going viral, right? You know what I'm talking about. We live in the social media age. So are there specific cultural pressures, societal pressures that black women face from your perspective?
From my perspective.
From a social, add a
part.
social media perspective in there as well.
Okay, gosh.
We get it, yeah.
Specific.
Yeah.
But you just named them all out.
I was putting some
Hold me
context
on
in
one, maybe. Hold me on one.
That she's got to be sexy. She's got to be aggressive. She's
Well,
got
let
to
me-
put out there rather than, hey, if she's that's a pressure that she's viewed as objectified in a certain way.
Yeah, it ties into what you talked about before. You talked about this concept of the quote unquote strong black woman. I don't need no man, right? Like, where does that come from?
Who created it?
Who created this concept that, I'm going to be single, I don't need a man, I have to be this totally strong
but
person? Where's the quote?
maybe if the men wasn't so misogynist and thought okay to sleep with women, then leave later on, then she didn't have to be like that. I was growing up by a woman. Dad wasn't around. My mum died when I was quite young. So I get it, I've seen it in a certain way how a woman has to be. But then to revel in that, say, hey, you know what, now I've made my money, I made my peas, I'm good, I don't need no man. I just need my special friend called Harry, who comes out to play a certain kind of night. or they've got dialer friend they call me.
Dialer friend.
Harry's bringing that work every time.
Or you got the other one where the woman now she has everything she wants. She's in her 40s, 50s, and 60s, and all she just wants is a nice young toy boy. But she controls him in a way that you don't have to stay with me no more. I can pay you for come on holiday with me, and literally she has everything she wants. But now she's conditioned herself in such a way that she doesn't want a relationship. Sometimes, and then sometimes we've got to face it to ourselves. What's the role we played in that part? And that's the part what I've seen for a lot of men. And And in truth, it hasn't really changed, and it's not really changing. In fact, it's kind of got worse, where I'm seeing now a lot of women or girls are holding in their trauma. Some are speaking more, but the narrative we're encouraging them to speak up. We're encouraging them to say, no, you don't need to hold that. Men don't need to get away with that. And that's just the part where I'm more pleased now. I'm getting more clients coming to me as females. And because they've seen other female therapists there, actually, I'd rather see a male therapist, whether to address...
Get a different perspective.
As a male, that I won't judge them, because sometimes other females are judgmental against other females, especially black females. I find that they said, there was less, I would say less curious. So they put the judgment, well, that's what black women go through. We've gone through this. So where they went for healing, they found they got hurted. Jeez. Because of the judgment placed on by another therapist with a culture norm. I'm not here to judge nobody, but give a safe space to talk about whatever you want to talk about.
It's powerful.
So on that again, you probably mentioned it already. So talk on this independent woman trope and the damage it does, and as a society, how can we reverse it?
It takes a village. African proverb, it takes a village to raise a child, and it's what I'm learning more now as a system. So whether you look at the woman, if you look at the grandparents, if you look at the parents, where have you learned this behaviour from? All behaviour comes from somewhere.
Right.
All the behaviour is adopted from somewhere. So it's recognising, okay, how do you intercept this drop? Do we have the energy? Does the woman have the energy to say, you know what, do I need this? How does it serve me? How do I gain from this? What do I want? So she's almost comfortable in that, and she stays in that way and says, okay, I'm going to pass on to my children. It's hard to break something that people are not aware about. It's only when you become self-aware that's where change happens. But if you're not self-aware and you don't see the issues with it, then all you're going to do is endorse it and encourage it and strengthen it.
Will we run it again?
Women and accountability. So you're talking
hold
about...
on, this is a big one.
You're talking about taking...
I like this one.
It's tricky.
I like this.
It's tricky.
Women and
because I don't want the
accountability.
heat from this one. But I don't want the heat from this one. But in terms of taking ownership of, you know, their trauma and the things that they're going through, how do we... Because what I've noticed is...
We talking about the woman, talking about the men, or we talking about together society?
Together society, because at the end, because we're one. But women don't always like taking accountability for the things that are going on within them and around them, or whatever they have done. So as men or as a society, how do we encourage them to do better or to take responsibility, take accountability of their traumas, their issues, so we can move forward as a people and fix it?
Two ways you look at it. Where does the trauma come from? If it's come from another man, why would I trust another man to feel safe to talk to another man?
Not all men are the same.
I hear you, but this is where you get the projection of how can I feel safe with you? So the anxiety comes on journey, and sometimes how we act and how we behave is not based on our present issues, it's based on past unresolved issues. Past unresolved hurts, pains and traumas. So what happens now that you get into a new relationship and it's almost like pattern matching the same relationship, the same people. So I will call it unconscious brokenness. You're unconsciously doing the same thing and you're broken, and we keep rewriting the same script. Why did I go out the same type of man? It's the same car, same man, but in a new clothes. So you're just redoing the same script, because what you haven't done is learn to intervene in what has hurt you the most. So sometimes it's easier to live in the trauma of what you've done, rather than to intervene in the pain of what you've gone through.
Ooh, say that again.
Yeah, Leo, I wanted to go a little bit deeper on this, because for me this is a big subject. So I'm part of a group of, over here, a group of brothers, right? And a big thing in the space is holding, as men, holding each other accountable for the decisions that we make and the consequences of the decisions that we make that come with it. It's no easy road to go.
But consequences don't have to be negative.
Oh no, there could be positive.
We kind of
exactly. But my question is, do you feel like we live in a society where we make space for women to hold themselves accountable? Well, there's other women holding accountable, other men. Let's take an example. We all know a female friend of mine who, for example, has dated the same type of guy, as you just said,
right,
over and over again, looking for
why does she do that?
Exactly.
Where did it come
But
from?
it's not even the question of why does she do that. Do we feel like other women hold her accountable for the decisions that she makes and the results that she gets? Do we as men hold them accountable, and do they hold themselves accountable for the decisions that they make? So there's two parts. One is why, which you're going to answer. The other one is, are they even holding themselves accountable for the decisions that they make?
But what if they don't have the capacity to hold themselves accountable?
Say
What
more.
if they-
Say more.
Well, okay, so take for example, I'm person X, and I grew up in an environment where it was very chaotic. So I've learned to survive in chaos. So I've learned to survive in people detaching themselves, coming in and out of my life from a young age. Then on top of the compound of that, I've suffered abuse, but I won't talk to them about that abuse. Whether it's micro, an abuse of like people just saying certain things, or other abuses where people sexually just touch me in the wrong way, in the wrong places. But I can't talk about that. So I learned to keep quiet.
Right.
So now we've got a level of abuse underneath of distrust already.
Absolutely.
But now you're going through life, but everybody sees the makeup and mask in your face, and you're going through whether I'm male or female, but I'm allowing myself to mask what I've gone through. Then yet you keep getting older and older and older, you kind of, other people have done that, so it's understanding the type of people that keep coming into your life who do the wrong thing to you, but you've learned from a young age to keep quiet.
Right.
Then as you get older, you learn to academically push yourself, and you become maybe a public success, but a private failure. So you're really good in one part of your life, but at home you're screaming inside.
Right.
You understand how nervous I am, but you can't say that. But what you're seeing on the outside is a person that in a way kind of got it all together, in a way that's got all the amenities that we're looking at externally, but then internally they're struggling.
Right.
So now they're dating a person X or person Y, like a guy or girl, they're dating somebody, but they keep going for the same type of people who don't commit, who treat them in a certain way, because that's how they value themselves.
Right.
In the same certain way that they don't feel like they're a piece of work, so people treat them the same way.
Right. And so in that scenario then, Leon, whose responsibility is it to get the help that you need? Because we'll give an example. So, for example, some of the brothers in the group are dealing with, for example, issues with weight, etc. We hold them accountable.
Right.
We're going to the gym. You need to be in there and put working with us.
But
That's their work. So in the context of
but they can. But saying that they're going to the gym, but do they go to the gym when you're not there? So you're holding them and pushing them. It's almost like they're on a tricycle at first. So okay, I will hold you, but at some point you will start walking on your own. So I'm in a therapy space with somebody. The work is not in the 50 minutes to an hour I'm seeing somebody. The work is by the clients when they leave the therapy space.
Yes,
right.
And that point, so it's a paradigm shift of how they see themselves.
Right, but what we don't let them do, Leon, we don't let them say, oh, I went through this and that, I went through that.
No excuses.
We don't, maybe it's a guy thing, but we don't allow for too much of that, right? So it's almost, what does it look like on the other side of the pond, right? You went through trauma as a woman, etc. But at what point do you begin to just take ownership?
So what point do you say to your friends, or they say to you, okay, what help do you think you need to change this? And if they say I don't need help, then then you can't get help.
So they have to realise it for themselves.
You've got to realise if you don't think you need help, then how can I help you? I can't force you to change your mind.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
The hardest thing for someone to do is to change their mind, to unlearn what they think is normal.
Absolutely.
Because they've normalised sometimes trauma. And that's their baseline of what they feel, how they feel about themselves. And maybe they know it's wrong. And say, okay, then let's do the hard way. Ooh, the hard way's too tough. So it's understanding that either way, it's going to be hard to stay in the same situation and say that I don't like being like this. Of course, it's going to be hard to change your mindset and change what you're going through. It's going to be hard. Choose your hard. Hard to stay or hard to change. Either way, it's going to be hard.
It's going to be hard.
One's beneficial, one's condemning.
Yeah, no, powerful. Saucy.
Before you go, let's get back on topic. Because
I thought that was that not the question?
No, I threw that one in.
Oh, so we just went on a whole tangent.
We just went on the whole tangent.
All right, we got
Is mental health still a taboo within the black community?
Yes and no. Or is that part one? Is that part two?
That's part one.
Right.
And can the stigma sometimes prevent people from accessing the help they really need?
Absolutely. Is mental health still a taboo? Yeah. I'll definitely say that. When I decided to become a therapist, I was absolutely ridiculed. One, because how I speak. You don't speak clear, oh my gosh, they're going to rinse you, Leon. Two, the fact that I'm a male. Men don't talk. So you should never become a therapist. Three, black people, we don't talk. So it compounded on so many ways, even just for me to even start, how people didn't want to do it. I was so convinced I wanted to do it. I was basically starting from again, I basically retrained from scratch. And if it's taboo, it still is. It's changing, don't get me wrong. We're talking in different spaces, churches, community centres, barber shops.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, there's different places where I work with different people and we just go out in the community. And a lot of times, the concept of people have of what therapy is, and even the word therapy, I've learned to change. Let's not talk therapy. What are you doing? We just have a conversation.
Right.
Because therapy for some people means you're in a white coat or a mad.
It's a stigma.
So therefore, I've learned to also change the words when I'm talking to certain people. I can adapt to different people, but you're trying to break down to taboos and stigmas associated with it. So if you have to kind of change the narrative, then change it. Change the words if need be.
Wonderful.
And the other question?
Is it still a stigma, and sometimes can it prevent people from accessing the help in which they need?
Absolutely. I think sometimes what the prevention part is that the fact that they may go to the talking therapists and they may be given a waiting list of 10 weeks or even a year or 6 months, or the fact that they go there and they're offered medication rather than, hey, can we do this conversation, which is the health system as a whole. Hence the reason why, ideally, how I like to work is we work on a base-to-base basis. What I mean by base-to-base is like, okay, where are you based? What's going on for you right now? And if I can help it, I will. Don't get me wrong. So the department wants to work with corporate clients that I can offer free healthcare for people who can't afford it. What I learned when I was training that therapy is very middle class, and the people who need it the most are the ones who can't afford it.
Jeez.
And that's what I'm trying to actually change the narrative.
That's dope. It ties into the next question we have up actually in terms of access, Leon. So the question really is, how easy is it for black women to access the right mental health support within their neighbourhoods?
It's certainly improvement. How easy. There's enough websites out there, Barton, Black and Asian Therapy Network, BACP, so you can choose the type of therapy you want. I've got friends now setting up free therapy, so we're funding, so I'm hopeful to do the London Marathon to gain sponsorship associated with a charity I'm working with, them to offer free sessions of therapy.
That's dope.
So it's changing, the narrative is changing, so people can get free therapy. How easy it is, it's as much as you're looking at Instagram, as much as you're looking at Facebook, it is easy to find a therapist, but finding a therapist is like trying on the right shoes or trying the right jacket. Just don't go take the first one. Have a conversation, have a talk, find the quotes, find the prices, find the one that you talk to if you feel connected. If you don't feel that they can emotionally hold you, move on. You're not obligated to stay with them. Because if you talk to the first one, you feel that you are having to connect with them, you're people pleasing already.
Oh wow.
So you become their salary because you just don't know how to say no boundaries. And that's why you're going to therapy for in the first place, to break that cycle.
Yes, that's powerful.
So Leo, we're just wrapping up now.
Sure.
What I would like you to do is plug your company again, a small synopsis of what you do and where we can find you.
Leon Berry from A Safe Place to Talk. How you can find me online. You can find me on Instagram, Facebook at A Safe Place to Talk. That's A Safe Place number 2 to talk. I work with various organisations. Short synopsis about me. I really enjoy my job. I'm quite passionate about it. I really am. I like to see people progress. I'm not looking for perfection. I just enjoy walking in the journey of healing. That's my passion.
Oh, Mickey.
That was deep.
That was dope.
You need to come on again. We need you.
Pleasure to have you, brother.
Thank you.
Beautiful.
Appreciate you.
Appreciate
your time.
And it's a wrap, ladies and gentlemen. We're done.
Mentioned by man that across the globe, one is the 6 feet tall and 6 figures, and the other one is serious abuse by women verbally. Right, and I speak, most of men that I I'm gonna cry. It always makes me so sad.
Take your time. Take your time. It's all right. No, we are
It
here.
is.
This
It
is
is.
emotional stuff.
It is. It's to see a broken man like that, they're going through, because you see, a lot of men they don't talk about the abuse from women. It's easy for them to say, yeah, you know, women are crooked, like they want to steal my money and all the rest. You understand?
Part of the culture, but we ain't part of the culture. Still making it rain, but a little words like aim soaking. Them man there, some them man there. We say we don't know them. Always chatting about Lengo, roll with the stick and have to outgrow them. You see this life, only get one, don't get twice.